The rain was pouring hard, and Officer Daniel Reed almost kept driving, but 1 second later, his life changed forever. It was nearly midnight in downtown Chicago. The streets were empty except for flashing traffic lights and puddles reflecting neon signs. Officer Daniel had been working double shifts for weeks, exhausted, frustrated, barely sleeping. His wife had left 3 months earlier, bills were stacking up, and after 12 years on the force, he was starting to lose faith in people. That night, he just wanted to go home. Then he saw her, an older homeless woman sitting alone at a bus stop in the freezing rain. No umbrella, no jacket, just soaked clothes and trembling hands wrapped around a small paper bag. Most cars passed without slowing down. Daniel looked at her for a moment, then sighed and pulled over. He stepped out into the rain. "Ma'am, are you okay?" The woman looked up slowly. Her face was pale from the cold, but her eyes were calm, almost strangely calm. "I'm all right, officer," she whispered, "just waiting." Daniel looked around. "For who?" She smiled softly. "For a miracle." Something about that answer hit him hard. He took off his police jacket and placed it over her shoulders. "You'll freeze out here," he said. The woman looked shocked. "No one's done something kind for me in a very long time." Daniel sat beside her under the leaking bus stop roof. For the first time in weeks, he stopped thinking about his own problems. He asked her name. "Evelyn," she replied. She explained that she used to work as a school music teacher years ago, after her husband died and medical bills destroyed her savings. She lost everything. Now she lived in shelters when she could, on the streets when she couldn't. Daniel listened quietly. Then his police radio crackled. Another officer joked through the speaker. "Danny, you adopting strays now?" A few officers nearby laughed. Daniel looked embarrassed for a second, but Evelyn gently touched his arm. "Kindness embarrasses cruel people," she said softly. That sentence stayed in his mind. Daniel stood up. "Come on," he said, "I'm getting you something warm." He drove her to a small diner that was still open. The waitress stared as the soaked homeless woman entered beside a police officer. Daniel ignored the looks. "2 hot soups," he ordered, "and coffee." Evelyn smiled like someone who hadn't eaten properly in days. As they ate, Daniel noticed she kept protecting the little paper bag she carried everywhere. Finally he asked, "What's in the bag?" Evelyn hesitated, then she slowly opened it. Inside was an old photograph, slightly damaged by rain. Daniel froze. The photo showed a little boy smiling beside a woman playing piano, and that little boy was him. Daniel's hands started shaking. "What? How do you have this?" Evelyn looked at him carefully. "You don't remember me, do you?" Daniel stared harder. Then suddenly, it hit him. 20 years earlier, when Daniel was just a scared kid from a broken home, his elementary school music teacher used to secretly buy him lunch every week. She encouraged him when nobody else believed in him. That teacher was Evelyn. Tears filled Daniel's eyes. "You saved me," he whispered. Evelyn smiled gently. "No, Daniel. You saved yourself. I just reminded you that you mattered." Daniel couldn't speak. All those years, he never knew what happened to her, and now she was homeless, alone, forgotten, or almost forgotten. The next morning, Daniel did something unexpected. Instead of going home after his shift, he started making calls. He contacted local shelters, old friends, community groups. Within days, people began donating clothes, money, and support after hearing Evelyn's story. One local musician even offered her a piano teaching job at a community center. But that wasn't what changed Daniel's life the most. A week later, Evelyn handed him a small envelope. Inside was a handwritten note. It read, "Never believe your kindness is small. One act of love can echo for decades." Daniel broke down crying in his patrol car, because for the first time in years, he felt human again. Months later, Daniel visited the community center where Evelyn now taught children music. The room was filled with laughter and piano melodies. Evelyn looked happier, healthier, and before Daniel left, she stopped him at the door. "You were my miracle that night," she said. Daniel smiled through tears. "No," he replied, "you were mine." Sometimes, the people the world ignores carry the very thing we need to heal ourselves, and sometimes, one small act of kindness can change a life forever.